I'm In with the ARCC is brought to you by StoredTech, your technology, our passion. And now here's your host for I'm In with the ARCC, Amanda Blanton.
Welcome to I'm In with the ARCC. Thank you for joining us today. I am your host, Amanda Blanton, Vice President, Marketing and Communications for the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce. And today my guests are Lynn Milone-Baker and Krista LeMay from Luxe Key Realty. Welcome, ladies, to the show. How are we doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We're so excited. Gosh, when did we celebrate your ribbon cutting? That seemed like ages ago, but also
back in September. Yeah,
September. Very exciting day. The space is gorgeous. We're so excited for you. But before we get into the business and kind of how it started, I always like to hear people's backstories, right? Even maybe how you met and what your experience has been like over the years. So who wants to start? Lynn?
Sure.
Yeah, you do. Okay. Yeah. So Lynn, tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to this?
I got licensed back in 2010.
Okay.
And I was really looking for a career that I could have a very flexible schedule with my two young children at the time.
Love that. Yeah.
And I was working for a nurse case management company.
Oh, wow.
And I was an office manager there, and upstairs was a real estate company. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll get into real estate. And that's how that all came about. I got licensed and then started back with Realty USA back in 2010.
Okay.
And stayed there, which converted into Howard Hanna, and then stayed there until 2025.
Wow. Okay. I love these stories where it's just like a happening, right? You're like, oh, there's this office upstairs. Maybe I'll check it out, right?
Yeah.
That's life. It just happens, right? Sometimes it's something pops into your path and you're like, okay, I'll try that out. And here you are, many years later.
Right.
Has it served you well? Do you love helping people, get into homes or get out of homes? And
I can't see myself doing anything else.
Yeah.
And I wish that I started this when I turned 18, which is when you can get licensed.
Okay, good to know.
So I wish that I had started that back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few, realtors, real estate agents, and brokerages on this show, and it's just very nice to see the passion behind the work, right? Because it's never about getting that commission. It's about helping people realize their dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We love to hear it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have a bunch of success stories, but we don't have time to do all those. But yeah, it's probably a really cool business to be in.
Yeah. And a bunch of weird stories too about things that you see that you never thought you'd ever see in your life that you see. Just when you say you've seen it all,
right.
You haven't.
Right. But it seems to have served you well.
Yeah.
And so let's hear from Krista. How did you get into the biz?
Well, I got licensed back in 2021.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was and still am in the healthcare profession.
Okay.
And when the pandemic happened, there was obviously a lot of changes in every realm, and especially in healthcare.
Yep.
So I had been in touch with Lynn years prior of, discussing potentially getting into the real estate field.
Yeah.
And I guess at that time I was, busy and still enjoying the healthcare field. And then when the pandemic happened, there was a shift in where I was needed.
Yeah.
And so I decided and reached out to Lynn and said, okay, I'm going to go for it. And have been very happy with this choice ever since.
Great. So this is awesome because, we've got Lynn, who's been in the industry for quite a bit, and then you yourself are a little new to it. I like hearing this, though, because we never know. There could be someone listening right now that's like, I'm looking for a change. And what I'm hearing is it's not too late. You can make that change anytime, right? You could be working in a field for 20 years and decide, you know what, I think I want to do something different. And it's a possibility, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, very, very cool. So now let's walk down the path of how you created your own boutique brokerage. How did that happen?
Well, so I'm used to training people,
Okay.
agents, and then they're on your team, your real estate team, and then they go off on their own once
Sure.
they learned what they need to do. Then that's what I'd love to do, is teach them, and then they kind of move on. But Krista, she just stayed. And so
awesome.
at the end of 2024, beginning of 25, I said to her, what are you doing? And she said, well, I'm going to stay with you. And I said, well, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about us finding some space and going out on our own? Like, we can do this.
Sure.
So,
like, you have the experience and she has a new perspective. It's like the perfect storm, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I love that. So how did you pick the space? Oh, and also tell us where you're located. That's probably another good question to ask.
We're located in the Queensberry Plaza, which is where Jersey Mike's and the Olive Garden
Yeah, right on
are.
Upper
So
Glen,
it's
yeah.
a busy spot.
Sure is. Yes. And you guys are tucked away in a little nook, and again, just a gorgeous location. So yeah, why did you pick that, or how did you choose that location?
We wanted to stay in the local area
Sure.
where we had been already doing real estate and meeting our clients. So Queensberry was the location of choice for us.
Yeah.
And so we looked at several spaces, and this one kind of met our needs.
Yeah.
For location and space and proximity to everything else.
Sure. Yeah.
So it made sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And being agents yourself, you know all about all different kinds of spaces, right? So
yes. And it's nice that we have that where people can just walk in, too.
Absolutely.
They can just walk, we've had some walk-ins, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Now, I hate using the post-COVID term, but I feel like we're going to be using that term for a long time. There was a time where things were all virtual, right? But what we're finding, especially at the Chamber, is people are craving those in-person interactions, right? We don't always want to do the virtual calls. Being on the phone all day is like, I want to see people. So have you noticed that that's something important to your clients?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they want to know who they're working with. This
Absolutely.
is a big decision in their life, whether they're buying or selling.
Yeah.
So for them to meet you and make sure that this is the person for the long haul, that they're comfortable working with you, it makes
Absolutely.
life easier for everybody.
Wonderful.
And the whole transaction less stressful.
Sure. So for those of us who don't know exactly what a brokerage is, what exactly do you and your team do? I know it sounds silly, but there are people out there probably like, what does that mean? Yeah.
So it's real estate and working with buyers and sellers.
Okay.
Predominantly for residential.
Okay.
Consumers.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a geographic region specifically that you are serving, or is it all of New York State?
I mean, we're licensed in New York State, but we, have a surface area that we like to stay within.
Sure.
So we prefer to stay within Saratoga, Washington, and Warren County.
Okay. Wonderful.
And we will drift a little bit outside of that.
Yeah.
Depending. But those
Yeah.
are our prime spots.
Awesome. So still in first year of existence. How are things going?
they're going great. We
Yeah.
have 2 other agents with us.
That's
and
wonderful.
Hoping to grow, but not get, ginormous or
Yes.
overwhelming.
Yes.
But we do want to work with like-minded agents.
Okay.
That fit with our brokerage.
Yeah.
And have the same goals and
Yeah.
the same ideas that we do.
Okay.
And passion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, passion's huge in most jobs, right? But
Yeah.
especially in yours. So, can we talk a bit about your company culture? Like, what's the vibe at Luxe Key Realty?
I would say it's pretty relaxed and
Yeah.
homey, and you walk in and you feel welcomed.
That's awesome.
So you feel like you're walking into a house.
Yeah.
Our setup is a little bit different. We do have like a living room versus a conference area.
I know. That's one of my favorite parts about touring your space during the ribbon cutting. I felt like I was in someone's house. It was wonderful and a beautiful house. But yes, yeah.
Thank you. I wish we had a fireplace, but we'll work on that next year.
That would be nice. But yeah, so we kind of talked about this before the show. It's important to just be a regular person, right? You don't know who's on the other line of that phone call when they first contact you, right?
Correct.
And it sounds like you ladies have nailed it. This is everyone's welcome and it's approachable and comfortable. And like you said, this is a very important decision, whether you're buying or selling. It's a major financial decision. There's some work that goes into it, paperwork, all that stuff. But it sounds like you ladies are trying to make it as easy as possible.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Yes. Awesome. All right. So we talked a bit about the culture. Anything you want to mention about your team? Maybe we can talk about what is it like working with you and your team? How do you get started? How about that? Somebody gives you a call. They're looking to buy or sell. What does that process look like?
So it depends on who they get, I guess,
Okay,
right?
yeah, of course, yeah.
So, it depends on where the lead would come from, if they just walk in or if it's something that's online or if it's someone that you know from your COI.
Oh, sure. Yeah, referrals and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. So I guess maybe I'm not asking the question properly. So is there... do you invite people to come in and chat? Is it more of I don't want to say consultation, that's probably not the right word, but a discovery phase? How about that? Where you're really learning about what the buyer or seller wants.
A lot of that happens, honestly, it does happen on the phone.
Yeah, okay.
And then if you're progressing to, they want to work with you,
sure.
And they want to see a house, then sometimes, yes, it's best you have to have documents in place in order to show them homes. So that's when you give them the option to come in to your office space, or we can meet anywhere outside of the office as well and get those documents signed. And then you get to know them a little bit more in that setting.
Sure.
Putting a face to a name and a voice makes a big difference.
Right. And I'm sure over the years you've learned that everyone has different preferences, right? Not everyone's looking for the gigantic house or, even looking to sell for certain prices. It's like the Wild West out there.
Right.
In some cases,
Right. No, that's great. And so you're looking to grow your team as well, you mentioned, but responsibly, which I love, because there is such thing as irresponsible growth, right? If you grow too fast, maybe things don't work out the way you planned it. So can you tell us maybe about what you're looking for in a future agent at Luxe Key Realty?
Just people with the like-minded agents like us that have the same goals and the same value and, have the same, I don't want to say attitudes. So that's
their approach.
Personalities.
Makes a big difference and how they carry themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it at this point, once you're under a brokerage, you're not only representing yourself, but you're representing the brokerage as well. So that's difficult to weed out in a sense in an interview, but you can kind of feel that process out personality-wise and their commitment and their knowledge of the field, and that helps.
Okay, wonderful. And Lynn, since you've been training agents for so long, is there an influx, do you know, of agents coming into the industry, or is there a trend you're noticing?
I think the trend is that agents are there's not a lot of new agents right now, I would say.
Okay.
I would say that there definitely was a lot of new agents, and then I think that they are trickling down because of the market.
Sure. It ebbs and flows, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I think is happening right now.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I remember, and again, time to me is just, who knows, right? But this could have been years ago or could have been 5 years ago. But a lot of my colleagues who have full-time jobs were all of a sudden now becoming agents at the same time. And I'm like, first of all, where do they find the time?
Right.
But I thought it was also really cool, to see their faces on all these billboards and things. So, so I was just kind of curious, maybe if you noticed anything, but it makes sense for it to ebb and flow with the market, right? Yeah. Okay.
And we have our billboard going up in March,
actually. Oh, exciting.
Same place as it always is, across from the Home Depot in Queensbury.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. I do drive up and down that road quite often. So very cool. All right. Well, we do have to take a quick break. So we'll be right back on I'm In with the ARCC.
Hi, my name is David Cohen. As a project engineer at StoreTech, I focus on upgrading and improving technology that businesses rely on to be efficient and eliminate boundaries to productivity. What's different about StoreTech is the dedication to their customers and down-to-earth approach to IT. Our only agenda is to make life easier for you and your employees and allow you to focus on what's important. It's a true pleasure to be a part of StoreTech. I leave work with a real sense of pride knowing I'm part of such a wonderful team of enthusiastic people with unmatched knowledge and experience. Call us today at 518-793-1111 and see how our team can elevate your business to the next level.
And now, back to I'm In with the ARCC. Here's your host, Amanda Blanton.
And we're back. Thanks again for tuning in to I'm In with the ARCC, sponsored by StoreTech, your technology, our passion. And I'm here with Lynn Milone-Baker and Krista LeMay from Luxe Key Realty. Now, ladies, I totally forgot to ask you, what is the story behind the name? Because it's got a great ring to it, and it also looks excellent in the font that you chose for your website. And I'm just a marketing nerd over here, so excuse me, listeners, while I nerd out for a second. But yeah, what's the story behind the name? What does it mean to you?
So we wanted something different, and so with our names being Lynn and Krista, we felt we needed to have our initials somewhere in the name. So
Oh my God, I'm putting it together. Okay, keep going.
Lux is for Lynn,
Yes.
and Key is Krista.
Oh my gosh.
So, and we decided to go with Lux because we wanted to abbreviate and not go into full luxury.
Got it. Okay. I love this.
Yeah. So, and then we have in our logo, the teeth of the key is a L and a K instead of teeth. So there's an L and a K there. So people that don't notice that is a little...
I got to take a good look at it next time. But yes, but I love the font. And again, as a marketing nerd, like fonts are just something I'm always paying attention to. So whoever did your logo...
That would be my daughter.
No way.
Yeah.
Lynn,
my daughter
that's
Hannah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She designed the logo.
I love it. Well, if she's not listening, please tell her I love it. It's great. But what a cute story. I love that because you've put literally your names into the name of the business and the logo and in your personalities as well. That you are the business, right?
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as we mentioned before the break, markets are going to ebb and flow. That things are going to change whether you're buying or selling. But there are certain things that never change, right? And that is, the one best tip that you could give for maybe a first-time buyer. Like, I'm not a homeowner, and hopefully one day I will be. But, for first-time buyers, sometimes they don't know where to start. So what's the one good tip that you could give a first-time buyer?
A first-time buyer should really first meet with a lender.
Okay.
So they know their budgets.
Right.
That makes a big difference when you start looking at homes.
Okay. Absolutely. I mean, I can tell you from my experience, I'm addicted to these, home apps. I don't want to name any names, but, they're always sending me notifications like, here's a home that just went on the market for this amount of money. And I'm like, cool. What's next, right? And
Right.
It's like get pre-qualified and all these things. So your best tip is to just find a lender that you trust, right?
Correct.
To figure out how much home can I afford, right? Because we can all sit down with our spreadsheets or whatever and try to figure out, this is the type of home I can afford. But we should go to the professionals, really figure it out, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you don't know, there's a lot of lenders in our community in the best way, right? So it could be a referral from a friend or family or just doing a quick search. But that's step number one, right?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And then hopefully step number two is to give you ladies a call.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's right.
Wonderful. So how about a best tip for sellers then? Maybe I bought my home 20 years ago and I'm ready to upgrade and I need to get out, or, just didn't work out. I'm looking for something better and bigger. What's my first step for that?
The first step is to definitely call us.
Yes.
And we can come out to the home and give you some recommendations, some tips, suggestions, because you have been in the house for a while and it's your house, but maybe you need another set of eyes to say what makes this home marketable.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned the marketing aspect of that, right? Because especially when you're taking photos, right, of a home and going through all the nooks and crannies. And if you've lived in a home for 20, 30 years, there may be, little quirks about it that you don't remember or don't notice. But a fresh pair of eyes, from one of you ladies that's coming in could be like, oh, did you notice that you've got this amazing closet over here, or whatever it might be, right?
Exactly.
But that's a great point. Yes. That's a great point. Yep. So give you ladies a call, have that consultation, right?
Absolutely.
And maybe a little home tour and get the process kicked off. I love it. Awesome. So we're hoping you get a lot of calls, ladies, but we do have to know, how do we get in touch with you?
Our office number is 518-741-7494.
Excellent. All right. And you have a website as well.
We do.
Yeah. It's very easy. Just www.luxekeyrealty.com.
Awesome. And I understand you're on Facebook too.
Yes.
Which I love. I love Facebook. It's probably one of the most underutilized, I think, services for businesses. And some people, that's the best way they know how to connect, right? Like there could be a direct message sitting in your box right now. You never know, right? So awesome. Very cool. So anything else you want to end the show with today?
Just thank you so much for having us
Absolutely.
on here. If anyone wants to come, just stop in and see our space. They're more than welcome to just pop in and
Excellent.
say hi. And
yeah.
we're there.
Awesome. In the Queensbury Plaza in Upper Glen. And again, a beautiful space. Everyone should come check it out. I would highly recommend it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, Lynn, Krista, thank you so much for being on the show. It's a pleasure learning more about your business and how you got to where you are. First year in business. We're wishing you all the luck. I can see it's going to be awesome and you're going to grow your agency. It's going to be great.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And that's all the time we have for today on I'm In with the ARCC. Be sure to tune in next week.